And do not display your fineries in the way that they used to in the time of ignorance. وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتِينَا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَطِعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Establish prayer, give charity, obey Allah and His Prophet. And after saying all of that, then Allah, He says, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ رِجْسَ أَهْلِ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. That indeed Allah desires to keep all impurities away from you, O Ahl-e-Bait, and purify you. And then after that, when it mentions this in the next ayah, 33, 34, it says what? It says, وَاذْكُرْنَ مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. And remember that which was recited within your houses, min ayat Allah wal hikmah, from the signs of Allah and His wisdom. Inna Allah kana latifan khabira, and indeed Allah is subtle and all aware. So when we look at what we call ayatul tathir, before it is about the wives of Rasulullah, after it is about the wives of Rasulullah. So the question is that when the non-Shia, he comes and he says that when you say this ayat is about Ahl-e-Bait, do they have a legitimate claim when they say this? Because before it is about the wives, after it is about the wives. You find that there are a number of issues with that viewpoint, and there's a number of replies that we can give. You know, the first reply we can give is that when you look at the style of the Quran, the style of the Quran is such a style that it often changes subjects. It shifts gears. And you know, this is a method which allows somebody to remember something. You know, in the speech, if for 50 minutes I'm speaking about Ayatul Tathir, then for 2 minutes I begin to speak about the Brooklyn Nets, for example, or the New York Knicks, for example, you'll forget that 48 minutes, but you'll remember that 2 minutes. And the reason you'll remember that 2 minutes is because it's such a change in subject. So you find when you look at the Quran does this in a number of places. For example, when you go to Surah Al-Qiyamah, chapter 75, and you look at verses 6 through 15, they are about the day of judgment. That وَيَسْأَلُ أَيَّانَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ, that he asks when is the day of judgment. And it says فَإِذَا بَرِقَ الْبَصَرُ, when the eyes they become dazzled, وَخَسَفَ الْقَمَرُ, and the moon it becomes eclipsed, وَجُمِعَ الشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ, and the sun and the moon they come together. And all of these different verses, they continue and they're speaking about the day of judgment. But then when you come to verses 16 through 19, they are speaking about the Quran. Over there it says, وَلَا تُحَرِّكْ بِهِ لِسَانَكَ لِتَعْجِلَ بِهِ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَهُ. That, O Prophet, do not hasten when this Quran is recited. The collection and the recitation of the Quran are upon us. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. And when we have recited it, follow that recitation. ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانًا. After that, we will explain it to you. So you find 6 through 15 are about the day of judgment. Now 16 through 19 are about the Quran. But when you come to verse 20 of chapter 75 is about the day of judgment once again. Over there it says, كَلَّا بَلْ تُحِبُّونَ الْآجِلَ وَتَذَرُونَ الْآخِرَةَ. That there's a group of individuals, they prefer this world, they forget the hereafter. وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ. That upon that day their faces will be luminous. So you see over here, the Quran in a number of places shows that the context can switch. So you find this is the first reply. The second reply to those who say that Ayatul Tathir is about the wives of the Prophet and Ahl-e-Bait don't fit within that context, is that just because a verse is mentioned alongside another verse, it does not mean that they are on the same theme necessarily, nor that they were revealed together. You know, oftentimes in the Quran, there are verses that were revealed in Mecca next to verses that were revealed in Medina, and vice versa. So you find this is the second reply. The third reply that you